But I'm pretty excited because I've just clocked over 700 subscribers. So thank you so much for that. Welcome to today's live stream. Hope you're having a great morning. The weather outside on the sunny coast, not so good. But let's get started in drawing some fish. We'll need some pencils, colors, paper, and obviously your listening ears on. All right. And let's see if we can zoom in on the fish that I've already drawn. Okay, we are going to start with some of the simple fish first, and you might have already been sneakily drawing them from my thumbnail, that like my son Ari has been, but we're going to start with the easy ones first. So these two here, and you can choose which one you want. So I'm just going to have them off to the side as well so you can see what I'm doing whilst I draw. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to draw this one here. And if you look at the basic shape of the fish, it is almost an oval shape with a bit of it cut out. So I'm going to just draw an oval shape. I hope you guys can see that okay. I've got lots of light here in my room. And then we can cut that back bit off like so, and you can rub all those out. You don't have to draw that back bit, I'm just showing you that that's made up of an oval. Now if you've been watching my videos, you'll know that I start with construction lines first. I'm going to put the fin on the back of this fish. Now it was a bit tricky to come up with an idea of what to draw. Now that I've got the basic shape there, I'm just going to get my black pen and go over that so that you can see exactly what I'm doing easily. So I'm going to get the black pen and go over this. Now remember, this is a live stream, so if I'm going a little bit too fast, you will be able to pause it, and then at the end I upload the video, but sometimes it can take a little bit of time for YouTube to process that. So we've got the body shape and the tail, and now we're going to draw a curved line for the front of the head, so that's this part here. Great to see Mason back, loves his live stream. Hey Mason. Then we've got a fin here, so a line coming down and across, and then we'll do however many fin lines we want through here to match sort of the tail. And now we're going to draw a circle. Drawing a circle there. It's good to see we've got about 20 or so people joining us today, which is fantastic. Hope you've been watching some of my videos. Remember, I'm also after your suggestions. So if you've got some suggestions of what you'd love to see me draw, make sure you comment. All right, now we're going to put the eyelashes in and then flick those lines out. And then we're going to put a little circle here. That's like the little white bit for the eye. And then we're going to color this in black. Now you might have wanted to do the triangle one. So all you would have had to draw it was the triangle first, and then very similar to this. So a fin at the back, a fin in the middle, a line there, the eye. See how exactly the same, except for we started with a triangle shape. Now we want to put some lips on this fish. You could put a big smile in here, or you can put some lips out. It's up to you. I'm going to put some lips on, little teardrop shapes like that for the lips, and some little bubbles. So a small circle to start with, followed by another bigger, slightly bigger circle, followed by a bigger circle again. Okay, and there we have a cute little fish, and I might just put a couple of little lines underneath there. We might colour this one in straight away. I hope you got your colours out. I'm going to use coloured pencils today, but before we do, I'm just going to rub out some of my pencil lines, making sure that my outliner is not going to smudge, so it should be fairly dry. Although this weather, things do take a bit longer to dry. So I'm going to use my nice coloured pencils that I've got. You could use textures or coloured pencils, it's really up to you. And I'm going to colour this in using some hot colours, because I'm going to do some little bit of shading here, and I'm going to use those 3 for the back section, and I might use a purple for the front section, and then a hot pink for the lips. So it's really up to you what colors you want to use, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to start with the pink lips. So just coloring in there. Now, when you color in small shapes like that, you only need to do little small movements. So really small movements of your pencil. Don't try and be really big and loose, nice and tight. And I'm coloring in a little circular motion there. With the purple, I'm going to do the fins purple and the front of the head nice and purple. Now with pencils, you can color in nice and lightly, and then you can darken it up by going over the top. Now, who else have we got joining us? Don't be shy. Say g'day in the chat and I'll give you a little shout out. Now, you may have noticed in some of my other videos that I am starting to put in shout outs to people who give me ideas. For example, Lucario I just drew for Jaden, and then at the end, because he comes to my classes, I've put in some pictures of his artwork, so you might want to check that video out. I'm doing another one soon with some seashells for Charlie. And so if you want to be featured in my YouTube channel, make sure you send some fan art through. Some of your drawings that you've done from my videos would be great. Even from today would be awesome. Okay, so you can see I've colored in, well, it's a really light purple. Now, if I wanted to blend from yellow through to here, I can do that because yellow, orange, and then pink are next to each other on the color wheel. And to blend, I'm just going to lay down some light yellow first, nice and lightly. If we press too hard, the colors won't overlap. Now, it doesn't matter whether your pencils are expensive or cheap or not too good. If you do it lightly, you should be able to get some blending. Okay, but if you press too hard, you won't be able to blend, and you want to keep your pencils sharp as well. So see how I'm overlaying that over the yellow. That can work because I didn't press too hard. If I press too hard, it'd just be like a stripe. And you can see that I'm starting to just do little circles over the top. Going different directions can help as well. If you can hear the rain in the background, people, it is absolutely pouring on the sunny coast. Has been all weekend, and we've had a lot of rain this year. Let me know where you're from. Hey, Bryce and Alyssa, good to see you guys join us. So I'm just doing a bit of shading here. And Poppy and Harris, thanks for joining in too, guys. And see how I've got the orange there. Now I'm doing the pink, and I'm going to try and overlap that a little bit. See how I'm going around in little circles over the top. The more you practice the drawing, the better you're going to get, and color shading can look pretty good. So there was a really simple fish shape, but she looks so cute. I'm going to call this one a girl fish. And then we could put some other lines or patterns in over here if we wanted to. And we could color in the bubbles as well. So it's up to you if you want to color in the bubbles. All right. So we've got ourselves a little fish there. Let's move on to this little one just here. So I'm going to start with my pencil again. And if you look at the basic shape, it's almost like a rectangle, a rounded rectangle. So if I draw a rounded rectangle to show you, there's my rounded rectangle. And then all we have to do is bring the bottom chin out a bit, up, and then the line straight across to about halfway in here, like so. Okay, now what we can do is put in the rest, and for you guys to see it a bit easier, I'm going to do it in my pen because this one's not too tricky for me. Little triangle for the teeth, and I'm just going to go over this line and another little triangle for that tooth. And then we're going to come back and around and across and back up. I'm going to bring this up, but I'm not going to go over that yet because I've got to draw 2 eyes. Are you ready for the eyes? Big circle, followed by another big circle next to it. And then if you want to make the fish look cross-eyed, you put the eyeballs in the middle, and if you wanted to leave a white dot, you can. And every time I draw these characters, they look slightly different. That's okay, yours will look slightly different again, depending on how big you've done the shapes. And this one's a bit taller, so I'm going to bring this up and across and back and round and down. Now it's up to you what shape you want to put for your fin at the tail. So you could do one similar to that, or you could do more like this fin that I've got here. So like a crescent shape, like a moon crescent shape on the back. And then we can just put some lines coming out from there, like so. And we're going to do a fin, so up, around, down and back in, like so. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you'll notice that I only did 3 there. I've got 5 this time. This is a little fin that comes down the bottom, almost like a rounded, almost like a triangle, but you can see it's slightly curved, slightly curved. And then I'm going to curve these lines to follow that line there. Hope you guys are going well at home so far. It's great that you can join in. And now we're going to do the top fin, so it comes up and across like a curve, but see how it's changed. And then we're going to bring a curve back the other way, curve it back in, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. So you can see that that is different to this one. Okay, so we've got ourselves another fish here. All right. We might do one more drawing and then we might come back to colour some of them in, because I showed you how to do some nice neat colouring there. Now my next fish that I want to show you is the puffer fish. These are cute puffer fish. So I'm going to just slide this across. Now you might not know what this type of fish is. That's a Spanish mackerel, and I love catching them because I love fishing. And I also like eating Spanish mackerel as well. So let's see if we can zoom in on this a little bit more. Yep, we can. We'll just bring that back there. Beauty of live streams is you can watch it straight away, but sometimes it takes me a little bit longer time to draw things. All right, so where do we start with this puffer fish? We could start with the circle for the body. See that circle? So let's draw. I'm just going to tuck this fish underneath here, and I'm going to have that one next to me so we can see it even better now. So let's start with drawing a circle. Now if you want to, you could get like a cup and trace around a cup, or you could do something else. But because I want this to be have a bit more character, I've drawn the circle. Now to draw a circle, you can use your whole arm, and it's easier than just trying to draw with your hand. All right, so now 2 circles for the eyes. One big one, another big one there. The reason I'm drawing in pencil this time is because there's a little bit more to it, and some of these fins break the edge. So underneath there, we're going to draw a curve line with the circle. That's the mouth of the puffer fish. So a circle directly underneath the middle of the eyes. This is like a backwards C, and then this is a C that starts here and comes this way like so. So at the moment we've drawn the shape of the puffer fish, the 2 eyes and the cheeks. These are like the cheeks that are puffed up because it's blowing out. All right, so now we have another fin coming out the side here. Straight line, curve it around, curved edge back in. We're going to do the same for the other side. Out, down, then back in. And then we're going to put on the eyeballs. So if you want it to be cross-eyed, you can put the eyeballs there. If you want it to be looking a direction, you could have both of them up there, which means it could be looking at something. I'm going to have them, I might actually change it for this one. I'm going to have them looking to the right. So you see how both eyeballs are on the right. This one's cross-eyed. This pufferfish might be looking at another fish going, ooh, don't eat me, and puffed itself up. All right, this is where we can put the little spikes. So basically just triangles all the way around. Try and keep them evenly spaced and the same sort of length. So you can see I'm trying to make them the same. They're just straight lines out, back in. I'm sure you're doing a great job at home. Remember, everyone can draw. It's practice and it's attitude. Attitude is the big one. If you have the desire to become a good drawer and you stick at it, you can do it, because drawing is a skill, just like catching a ball. Okay, I'm going to get my outliner now, and I'm going to go over these lines and add in the other details. If you don't have an outliner, you might have a black texter, or you might have something else that you can use. I use a black outliner, and this one isn't a Sharpie. This one's a Copic multi-liner, but it's still waterproof. So if I wanted to use textures with this, I can. And also if I wanted to use my Copic markers to color in, I can as well. Just going over. Now on here, we add some thin lines like we have on the other fish. If you've just joined us, I can see the numbers going up. We've just drawn 3 fish. We've drawn these 2 here, and the puffer fish is what we're working on at the moment. Just going around the outline. That's why I didn't draw it in pen first, because see how the picture breaks that circle quite a number of times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Put one more in there just to match it up. It's just little things like that can make a difference. And see how that one's there. I might put that in the middle. And we're going over all our outlining here. I'm using a 0.8 multi-liner. You might want to use a thinner or thicker Sharpie, but if you use it too thick a Sharpie, it can actually lose the details. So I'm finding that this one here is quite a good size, but if I was going to use a Sharpie, like this one would be way too big. It's too thick. Okay, and you'd lose all these finer inner details. All right, now that they are drawn, what we can do is we can rub out any pencil lines from this one, and I think I might have rubbed a little bit too hard on the eyes there, so let me just go back over those eyes. Beauty of live streams, you see everything that I do. I can't crop that out. Alrighty, and lightly going to just rub out some of these pencil lines as well. So rubbing out, the rain's still coming down outside. Remember, I've got lots of other videos you guys can watch on YouTube today if you're in a drawing mood and you want to do some really cool drawings. So we've done 3 fish so far. Let's put some color onto this puffer fish, because I want to show you about how you can blend, all right? And how you can use textures and pencils together. Now, getting a color, you could color this any color you want. I'm going to use a orange, and I'm going to just put some orange color on here. So if you've got an orange and you want to do it in orange, you can. If you want to do it in a different color, it's your choice. Now, usually I would wait a little bit longer for this to dry, but because I'm showing you live, you can see that the black pen is still a little bit wet. Now what I'm using here is a Copic marker. You could use a texter because the same thing works with texters. So put down a coloured layer with your texters. Now if you can hear that rain in the background, it's coming down pretty heavy here. I'm having to backwash my pool a fair bit, which means emptying it out. Haven't had to top it up this year. I've always had to backwash the pool. We're getting more rain than what we're losing in evaporation. Alright, so put down the colour. Good day to go to the movies too today. Good day for ducks. All right, the spikes, I'm going to use a yellow. You could, if you've got a yellow texter, you could use a yellow texter. So I'm just colouring that in. Now this looks pretty good, the colours that I'm using, but it's not 100% finished, and it doesn't look as good as my other one. I wonder if anyone can see the difference between these two and tell me what this fish needs to make it look even better. Have a look in the, type something in the chat. What do you reckon this fish here needs to make it look better? I'm not going to do it just yet because it needs to dry. No worries, Britt. I hope you're in getting something out of today's lesson, because that's what I'm here for. I'm doing these classes so that I can help you guys become better drawers and get some tips along the way as well. So this one here, we haven't got anyone who's written in the chat about what it has compared to that one, but if you look, this one's just flat. It's just flat color. This one has something to make it look. Yes, there is yellow on the body, and the reason I put yellow or a darker area, you can see it's darker on here, and that's called shading to make it look 3D. Thanks, Brett. Well done. So I'm probably going to let this dry a bit more, because if I try to put pencil over that now, there's a fair chance I could rip my paper and the pencil probably won't go over the top as well as I want it to. So we'll come back to add the shading to that. In the meantime, we are going to draw. We've got plenty of time left. So we've drawn that one, and the pufferfish. Let's draw the clownfish. We're going to draw the clownfish. Now I've got two clownfish that I have drawn. One they probably look a bit like Nemo, but we've got a couple of clownfish here. And drawing them is pretty similar on how we're going to start. And then we might shift across to the angelfish later on if we get some time. All right. So another piece of paper, because I've run out of space here. I've run out of space, so I'm going to get another piece of paper, and I'm going to get ready to draw the clownfish. So most of this I would edit out in a normal video, but today you're seeing me get organized. All right, are you ready for the clownfish? I hope so. Let's have a look at the basic sort of shape of the body. It's kind of like an oval shape with a little bit off it, or you could see like a circle shape there. I'm going to start with a circle for the head, and then I'm going to just bring it down like that. This is the face of the clownfish, so you can see how it comes up and down like that. If you draw that, that'll look really good. Then once you've drawn that, you're going to draw a line, a curved line coming out like so, and then you're going to curve this body down, so curving it around. The reason I'm drawing in pencil, there's lots of broken lines, and this helps form the shape. We call these construction lines. If you've watched my other videos, I don't just draw straight in pen, because you want to construct your drawing before and get it looking accurate before you outline it and add shading. That's just what a good process. All right, so we've got that, and then we've got the tail coming out there. Now we need to put the fin on. So the fin comes up and around and then back down there like so. And like I said, every time I draw this, it's slightly different. So we've got a fin there. Then we've got another little bump for a fin at the back here. We've got our tail coming in and then out. Now, let's put the eyes on. So one circle, two circles, try and keep them the same size. And we'll put a little eyebrows on. Now you can draw your mouth however you like. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos, if we put a couple of lines like that and we put some angry teeth on, we could make this fish look angry, but because we're going to make it happy, let's put a curve mouth here and curve it around like so. And then we can put a little tongue line there like that. That looks cute. All right, the fin. One little fin over this side. Now we've got to put the other one here, but we're going to have a little white band because the clownfishes have these white bands on them. Now I've actually been lucky enough to go snorkeling a couple of times and seeing clownfish. Once in Thailand where the water was really dirty and I just happened to dive down and was so lucky that there was this one patch where there was about 5 clownfish in an anemone. And then the other time was up near Cairns and they were in a blue anemone. That was awesome. It was so cool to see. So we've got the fins, one on each side, and now we're going to put another little fin down there and another little fin over here. Like that. And they look a little bit different because this one you see more of, and this is on a different angle. That's why the shapes are slightly different. So if you're going, oh Peter, they look different, that's why. Now we'll put another stripe down here, like so. Now this time you can see my fin doesn't come all the way down, so you can see that. So I'm just changing that through there. And then we're going to put another couple of lines through here like that. We're going to outline this one, then we're going to come back and put some shading on our pufferfish, colour this one in, and then see how much time we've got. So the next thing we're going to do now that we've got the basic shape is this. We're going to outline. Now how you do your eyes is really up to you. Let me show you a few different options of what you could do. I'll just draw them down here. With all these different circles, you could do something like this. It's really your choice. The ones that I'm drawing are kawaii style, so you got the 2 little reflections in there. Now if you wanted to make it look a bit more, for some reason, like a girl, you could put some little eyelashes on it, but you don't have to. Here's another option. You might just have, like we did before, or here's another one where you draw this, and this would be like the color of the eye, like you know how some people have blue eyes, that middle part would be blue. I'm just going to keep them the same as what I had before because I kind of think they suit. But remember, art is about experimenting as well, seeing what works for you and what doesn't, what you like, what you don't like, and that's the beauty of art. Not everyone likes the same thing, so you might decide that you want to do your own style eyes. I'm just showing you how you can go about drawing these fantastic fish. Now we'll see how much time we've got left for whether we do a dolphin fish or, oh, actually we're going to do the anglerfish, won't we? If you've seen the Nemo movie, you'll know what I'm talking about, the anglerfish with the light on the end, the crazy fish. Okay, just going over all my outlines. This is the chance, if you've got any areas you want to add or you're not happy with, before you outline it, make sure you're having a good look at what you want to change. If you want to change anything, you can. And a few lines down the back there. Now I'm going super fast to do that. Now I've got a slightly thicker pen because if you look at the clownfish, there's some black areas, and rather than using my 0.8, I'm using what I call a brush multi-liner here. It's a brush pen. Kind of like using these. And I'm adding all the darker bits on. Most of the clownfish have the darker black on the back and on the edge of their their stripes. So that's why I'm just thickening up those lines on the edge of the stripes. Whoops, you can see I've missed some of the fin lines on there. I may even add some fin lines on there. So I'm going to go back to my thinner pen and I'm going to flick some lines down like that because it's actually darker on top of the fin from the pictures that I looked at, and obviously from the when I was taking the when I saw the clownfish in real life, I had my GoPro on with me, which I was lucky enough to get some good footage. And I may have to share that video with you guys in another fish video. There we have our clownfish. Oops, don't forget the eyes. So, drawing. Attitude, persistence, patience, practice. Lots of P words there. Okay. And we don't want to hear people say that they can't draw. When people start to say they can't draw, it means that they've given up. And we don't want that to happen. So while that's drying, I'm going to come back and I'm going to put some shading on my friend the pufferfish. Should be dry enough now, although it still feels fairly wet because there's lots of moisture in the air here. I'm not sure what it's like at your place, depending on where you're from. Now, because I did a fairly dark orange, the color that's next to that is red, so I could put some darker colors, darker red on that, and I'm going to pretend the light is coming from this angle here. So this side because it's a ball and I want to make it look 3D, this side is where all the light would hit, mostly on the top. So I'm just going to put some darker red here. Now I'm not sure whether you can see that or not. Hopefully you can. Yep, you can see that to a degree. So I'm just putting some pencil over the top of that. Now you might notice that I've left a little bit of orange along the bottom. That's called reflective light. So it's fairly dark along here and then it would fade out as we go up. So how do we fade that out? We release the pressure, or we don't layer it as much. Now let's see if I can add some highlights. I could add some yellow. The yellow's not really showing up, so we could try a white pencil. Let's see if a white pencil will work. We could add some highlights there. On the top of the cheek, it might be a bit lighter there. Can you see that white? Yep. And you can smooth that in. We might put a little bit of highlight over here. So if you look at cartoons, you look at Pokemon characters, you look at a lot of those types of drawings, even though they're simple, they'll still have some highlights and some shaded shadow areas. So underneath this fin, it might be a bit darker because it casts a shadow. Ooh, now it's really raining here. I'm out at Palm View. If you have never been out to my studio, it is absolutely pouring. So hopefully you guys can still hear me. Underneath the cheek, to make that look rounded, in between the eyes, there might be a bit darker underneath the eyeballs. That makes them pop out. So look at where I'm putting the shading. Good to see people are still hanging in there. We've got still got 20 odd people, which is great. Now remember, this video will be back up on YouTube. It does take some time to process, so if you do get cut off at the end, you'll be able to watch it hopefully later today. Now I'm putting a little bit of grey there just to make that eyeball look a bit rounded. Now notice how I'm holding the pencil slightly different. That can help control it. It makes it, it's easier to make it lighter when you're holding your pencil like that. Gives you a bit less control, but because I'm resting my hand on the table and I'm just moving my fingers to get that, I can shade really lightly. Because if I hold like this and I try to shade there, I get more lines and it's really harder to shade. So when I lay it down, I'm shading with more of the pencil, and I get less lines, and it can look kind of cool. Now on the edges of these spikes, I could put some orange, so I can put orange on them to make them look like they're rounded as well. So on the right hand bottom side, so here it gets a bit tricky because the light's coming straight through, so we could go both sides. On that side, close into there. Now I might be rushing a little bit here, but I would love to get onto the next fish. Okay, so we've got some shading. So if you look here, the light would hit the tops of them, so we'll go a little bit of shading there, and on that side would hit there, so on the bottom side. So you just got to think about where that arrow and where the light would hit. Like on mine, you can see I've got a cast shadow because I've got a light coming from the right hand side. So there's a slight cast shadow. So if I bring in this other light, that should sort of, yep, it softens that shadow. And if I took that light out a bit, it would change the shadow direction. All right, there. Now, how much better does that look than not putting the pencil over the top of the text? I reckon that just gives it a bit more, makes the cheeks look puffy, makes it look like it's rounded. So shading's super important. So what have we done? We've done the clownfish. Okay, clownfish, we can color that in, but before we do that, I'm going to draw this one. I think he's pretty cool. All right, the angelfish. You guys have been doing a great job so far. Oh, we've got Grayson and Ivy. Hi, yes, it's just raining out here, isn't it? Welcome, guys. Hope you're having a good time. All right, so I'm gonna draw this angelfish. Is it an angler? No, it's not an angelfish, it's an anglerfish, sorry. Silly me. All right, what sort of shape? We can clearly see that that's almost a circle. So when we're constructing this drawing, I'm going to base that on a circle. And look at this tail, it's almost an oval shape. So art is about looking, so I'm going to draw a circle for the head. And I'm also then going to draw a construction oval shape for the tail. Now you might see a lot of people who draw and they'll just go straight into drawing it with black pen, which can be good to watch, but it's hard to, like, if you try that, it's kind of tricky to, if you make a mistake, you can't rub it out or learn from it. So oval shape here and an oval shape here, same sort of size. Now you want to have them on a slight angle. See how they're on an angle like that, because you want the anglerfish looking up. Then we're going to put another oval shape here, another oval shape here, and another one, and another one. Now I've done that really fast to show you. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to put this big cheeky smile on, or toothy grin, should I say. You wouldn't want to be if you were a fish, you wouldn't want to be coming across this down in the dark depths of the ocean. All right, so let's put a curve coming up, sort of there. You can see that already looks like a cool smile. And then we'll bring another curve from about here to give us some room for the teeth. Yep. Now you want to turn them into lips just by doing a rounded bit there that pops over the edge, and another rounded bit here that pops out of the edge there like that. Then we bring a line, and as we come up, we're going to get that thinner as it goes in. I reckon I could probably now swap over to pen because I've got most of the lines there ready to go, and you'll be able to see it a little bit better. Okay, so let's swap over to pen. Now remember, if you've got a Sharpie, you should have something underneath. Sorry, I forgot to mention that earlier. And I probably wouldn't have my piece of paper underneath as I'm drawing. So I'm going to flick these around now. There you go, I've just swapped it over. Still see this one. All right, I'm going to start with the tail. So curve it around like that, and curve that one around like so. Now to finish this off, we're going to curve back and then bring it around like that. So curving the other way and then back in, and then there's the tail. Whoops, silly me, I forgot to join that through there. That was a bit of a mistake. I'll learn from that, and I'll flick that over there. Now you can see that I've done it in pen, so that's going to be tricky. But what we can do to turn that from a mistake to a masterpiece, I'm just going to go with those lines, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. Sometimes an artist will make a mistake, but they can fix it by sort of hiding it or using it to their advantage. All right, so spikes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these are getting smaller. You can see that I've added more spikes here, but that's cool. Like I said, my drawings are always slightly different. And then bring that around. Now you wouldn't even know that I made a mistake on that tail because it still looks like a cool tail. And I'm going to put some little bits underneath here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes the rule of odds is pretty good. So if you're not sure what I mean by odd numbers, that's like 1, 3, 5, 7. That can look good in an artwork. Now I'm going to do the lips. Bring the lips up and around there, and bring this one around like so. There we are. And going over the eyes, so we've got the eyeball this time. Another pupil, the eye, and then the eye. Now we've got to put this really cool bit that comes over. So I'm going to start it in behind the eye, and it's going to be a curve line coming over, like so. And a big circle on the end. And you could do some little like light bits coming out. Now we've got to double that line because and I'm going to make it go from thin, and it's going to get slightly thicker as it comes around. So you can see that that's even different again. I've put a curve coming this way rather than around just to make it pronounce the lips a bit more. Now the teeth. The teeth are pretty much just curved triangles. So 1 tooth, 2, 3, 4, and you can see it 5, 6, and I could keep going. And notice how I'm getting them smaller as they go in. Now these other teeth, I'm just going to try and bring them up into those gaps. So into there, into there, into there, etc. So we're creating like, so when he shuts his mouth, you can see the teeth. I kind of like. I think they both look pretty cool, but I'm pretty happy with that anglerfish. All right, we have a blue tang, but we're probably not going to have time for that. We've got a Spanish mackerel here. And has anyone heard of a dolphin fish? Not a dolphin, but a dolphin fish. That's a mahi-mahi that I drew. And that's another form of an anglerfish. He's a bit cranky, that one. Let's colour in the clownfish to finish off with. Here it is here. Because the clownfish is pretty much just orange white and black. Here we go, we've got the coloured version here. I'll probably do a separate video for the mahi and the Spanish mackerel another time if people would love to learn how to draw those. Alright, now I've got this other little rubber here, that little electric rubber that I can get into some of these little bits. So rather than rubbing over the whole lot, I'm just going to rub over the bits that you can see that I want to get rid of. These are kind of cool. Any materials you see that I use, just jump online, and I have a little online shop. You can buy some of this stuff. Obviously Copic markers, pencils, and the electric sharpener, electric rubber. Alright, I'm going to use a Copic, and you might use an orange texture, and you can just colour in over the top. Now that's going to be white there. This is going to be orange in here. So we've got an orange face, an orange stripe. So they're orange. They've got the thicker black part. Hope you guys have had a good time so far drawing the fish. I would love to see any of your finished drawings. Remember, if you want me to give you a shout out, you can send them through and they can be featured. Oops, now that's why you don't have pictures underneath, especially when you're using Copic markers, they go onto the other ones. Silly me. Learn the hard way sometimes. My pictures, now as you might see, that these look quite dark on the screen, but as it dries it'll lighten up fairly well. Like with all textures, they do get a little bit lighter. Pencils, you don't have a problem with them going through. And an orange tail. Comment below which one of the fish that you liked drawing the most. We did today. We only had a bit of time to draw the, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit here just so that you can, hopefully you can see the whole lot of the fish that I've drawn, and you can see my little work area. So we've got these 5 fish. Was it the first fish we drew? Was it the cranky rectangle fish, the puffer fish, the anglerfish, or the clownfish? What was your favourite at home, guys? And it'd be great to see if you can comment. If not, thanks for joining me today. I hope you've had a great time, learn a few tips and tricks, and you can see that I've used a lot of orange in my colouring today to show you lots of simple shapes, simple lines, and an outliner and some colours. All right. And this morning I woke up and I just clocked over 700 subscribers. So thank you so much for all your support watching my videos. I hope you're getting a lot out of it. And till next time, I will see you later. Thanks a lot, guys. I hope you can stay dry today and keep drawing. Good job. I look forward to seeing your pictures if you'd like to send them through. Poppy liked the first fish and Harris liked the anglerfish. Nice one. Thanks, guys, for your feedback. All right, guys, I will see you later on. Cheers. All right, catch you next time. Thanks. Bye.